Greetings, everyone. P. Pardo here from Comic Book Geezers. Welcome to another episode of Inside the Cover. Today we're going to go back once again to the hands of Shang-Chi, master of kung fu, martial arts mayhem as only Marvel can do. This particular issue, number 37 from 1975. It's kind of a part two of a little two-part storyline, although I don't think you missed all that much in part one, so we're just going to dive straight into part two here. You'll see you're finished, Shang-Chi. Not even your martial arts skill can save you from Dark Strider and his warlords of the web, right? So here is where we get a little fantastical, all right? It's a little fantastic. There's little bits of this stuff going on in this issue that kind of deviates a little from the normal Master of Kung Fu storyline type thing, right? So here we've got all these kind of mythical creatures and things going on here, which brings it back into more kind of like standard Marvel fare, right? So here, the Web of the Dark Death is really what this is titled. So as you can see from the main page, a little bit different art there, right? So here we've got Doug Mensch, obviously, still the writer here. We've got Keith Pollard on art. Keith Pollard, I think, did a really nice job of trying to capture that the Paul Galassi spirit in this particular comic. Sal Trapani did the inks, and Costanza on letterer, Janice Cohen on colorist, Marv Wolfman, of course, was the editor at the time. So here you've got, there's a strong mystery here. It has crowded all else from reality, save that which it has devoured. On the one side, the side of the light, creatures of caged myth, beings whose existence is impossible, whose destiny is guided by an ancient one called Moon Sun. On the other side, and I'll show you this in a second, the side of darkness, the warlords of the web, immortal ninjas, magicians of violence and death, whose common purpose is murder, whose leader is the impossible being called Dark Strider. Each side, light and darkness, possesses the seed of the other. I have agreed to protect one side from the other, never knowing if both are the same. So as you can see, on the one side, you have these kind of strange creatures, like animal type creatures. Almost reminds me of Island of Lost Souls type of thing. And then you've got these, the ninjas, okay, on the other side. With, of course, Shang-Chi, our hero, in the middle. So they're on a ship right now, and here's the previous story, you got these kind of two combating forces. So Shang-Chi is on a ship trying to figure out exactly what to do when the ninjas break into the cabin room that they are in, and the fight begins. Look at that art. Keith Pollard, really, really nice job on this. Really talented guy. So here you can see, and I think this whole sequence here is absolutely amazing. So you got one of the ninjas who's actually overtaking Shang-Chi. Not often you see Shang-Chi getting his ass kicked, but he actually is here. So then he's got Shang-Chi on the floor. He fires down with the sword. Shang-Chi clasps it in his hands, and I do want to read this to you. You are a master, Shang-Chi, but in the death of 10, you will be one. So basically, and Shang-Chi says no. And then he goes, your speed is great, but your strength may not hold the blade back forever. Yes, ninja, I know. So what does he do? So Shang-Chi stops the blade from coming down. He's got it in his hands. And as you can see in this sequence, right, where is it? Right down here, his foot comes flying about, breaks the sword in half, and he kicks his assailant off to the side. Just absolutely brilliant. Oh yeah, slap into a Slim Jim. So then, what's interesting is after that happens, the rest of the ninjas, now they're fighting on top of the train. The rest of the ninjas are like, okay, we're out of here. So they go racing towards the end of the train. They dive off the end of the train. Shang-Chi goes all the way to the end. Like, where are they? There's no dead ninjas on the ground, on the tracks. Where the hell did they go? So something's afoot. So he already knows that there's something kind of supernatural, something strange happening here. So he goes back down into the train, and he goes back to meet up with Moon Sun, who is the one who brought all of these other strange kind of creatures, and they're all sitting here in cages, right? Because they've been transporting them, and they go into this whole little backstory of these fabulous beings, as you can see. Here we got Big Jim's pack. You had those figures when you were a kid. I had a couple of those, actually. In fact, I still think I have one of them. So here, a little storyline to talk about how, and here, this is really interesting. If you've seen the Shang-Chi film, right, you've got, obviously, his father in the film is not Fu Manchu as in the comics, actually. The Mandarin Is it actually the same Mandarin foe of Iron Man? Don't know. But here, in this particular issue, they talk about this guy, this warlord called the Mandarin, and how he kind of basically, was spreading his evil rule over Moon Sun and all of his followers here, all these various creatures. So what's interesting is that Shang-Chi is asking all of them about all the events that led up to all that, and each one of them gives them a totally different recollection of the Mandarin's kind of dominance and his, anarchy and rule and all that. And it's really interesting, these next couple of pages, where each of these creatures kind of basically tells a different story. So Shang-Chi's like, well, what do I believe here? What really happened in this whole tale? And here you get a good idea of all the different creatures that there are. So basically, they're almost like sideshow freaks. Right, you got half man, half horse. You got this kind of wolf creature. You got this one dude who flies. Another guy's like a lizard. One guy looks like a bat. Okay, one lady lives in the water there, right? So, but they're all given different stories. So, what's actually the real story? We don't know. Okay, but then, so they get off the train. They go to set up camp, right? Because Shang-Chi's trying to get them safe and away from these ninjas. The ninjas are out to kill all of them, obviously. As you can see, really, really good cover, really good artwork all across. And then he finds out, so this woman who's been part of this group, who's been accompanying him, he assumed that she was just kind of normal the whole time. But as he finds out when he goes and visits her room that night, that she is just as kind of mutated. That's her up in the corner up there. She's just as mutated as the rest of them. She actually wears a wig and a fake face, right? So he's like, man, this group... Crazy. So now, as we see, at night he goes to kind of check up on everybody. They find out that the Dark Strider has infiltrated their camp. So Shang-Chi's looking around at night trying to find out what's going on here. And he notices that the Dark Strider... Remember, I told you the whole name of the story is Web of the Dark Death. So the Dark Strider has set up this kind of web where he's got all of these creatures kind of imprisoned here. So now it's up to Shang-Chi to kind of figure out, all right, so I guess I've got to come to the rescue. So there's a Dark Strider here. So the battle begins. And as you notice, the Dark Strider's got 6 arms. So here the battle begins. And Shang-Chi's like, this is not easy, right? Because he's fighting a guy not only who's got lots of power and lots of skill, but he's got 6 arms which to dish it out with. So the fight is on. This is a good one. It takes up the whole last half of the book. So here you can see, and that's what's great about the the Master of Kung Fu series, is you've got just this intense action. As you can see on the last page here, Shang-Chi's looking a little rough for the wear. He's kind of taking a beating here. He's holding his own, but he's kind of taking a beating. But, of course, ever the intelligent thinker, right? Shang-Chi is devising a plan. So as he says here, he goes, you have beaten me, Dark Strider, beaten me far more than I imagine I could endure. I am without strength now, and pain fills my every move. But yes, I am still determined to serve as their protector, for their benefit. And then Dark Strider says, then as you must do what you will, I will do what I must. And Shang-Chi thinks, I remain helpless, unmoving, weak, convincing him of my defeat until the last possible instant, where he grows careless and fails as a ninja to remember the inner strength which fills us all. So basically and it's an awesome little sequence there, right down at the bottom. Okay. He grabs him around the neck, and in comes the crazy headbutt. The headbutt of doom. So here he goes. You say that death is their only hope, the only source of peace remaining to them, and I recognize the bliss of death, Dark Strider. I will welcome it, but only at its natural and appropriated time. Until that time, it is life which offers the only hope, and it is the forces of life which must conquer the forces of death. So basically, Shang-Chi puts the final touches on the Dark Strider, knocks his ass out. Of course, then all the other ninjas appear, right? So it's like, oh boy. So he's basically like, all right, here we go. But then he notices that they don't attack. they throw their swords, instead of throwing their swords at Shang-Chi, they throw them up above, top of the ceiling here where the web is, and they make their escape. And Darkstrider says, "You still do not understand, mortal, nor will you understand before your time. I am only what I am, and death is not evil. It is only the final mystery." So he goes, and he goes, "Do not seek to capture or explain that mystery, for in so doing life will lose its taste for the world, and all will dwell with me." And he says, "Wait," but he leaves. He goes and checks out, and he notices, so I'll read the whole thing. "I must stop him, speak to him, ask him so many questions, learn so many answers. Learn, if gone, he is gone, leaving only the wind sweeping a barren plain. Is this, then, to be the most final, most maddening mystery? No, for when I turn, I see that the tent is also gone, the wagons, Tico, everything. There is nothing, as if nothing had ever existed. But wait. A tatter of Moonsun's robe left behind by Darkstrider. Does it mean that Moonsun and Darkstrider were the same? Perhaps. It is best never to know. And though I have learned nothing from a man who promises a knowledge of all, I have learned much from the fabric of mystery. We are all freaks under each other's eyes, and life is our cage. The watchful world is beautiful. The watching world is blind." A later thought from the library in Smith's townhouse. The circus is many things to many people, but in the language of the origin, the word carnival means farewell to the flesh. It is so. That's how it ends. So all of them, the ninjas, Darkstrider, and all the so-called freaks, Moonsun, all gone. All gone. So it's almost like there was this whole big saga, the whole fight. Was it even really worth it? Or did, because Shang-Chi saved the freaks from death by the hand of Darkstrider, that they can now go in peace? That, I think, is the moral of this whole story. So, and then the next, which, issue number 38 and 39 are both really good. We've got Shang-Chi fights for his life in the back alleys of Hong Kong against the martial arts expert known only as the Cat. If any of you remember, the Cat is a pretty bad dude. So there you have it. That's issue number 37. Master of Kung Fu, The Hands of Shang-Chi. Check it out if you haven't already. You can get a lot of these Master of Kung Fu issues. You can get fairly cheap. So thanks for watching, everybody. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so you get alerted of all our content as it posts. Also, please like this video. Very, very important to the YouTube algorithm. Stay tuned. We've got another episode of Wild Bill and myself coming up in just a couple days, and we have more inside the covers, all sorts of fun stuff. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Please tell your friends about Comic Book Geezers. Spread the word. We are almost at 3,000 subscribers. We're just under. We only need a few more, so hopefully we'll hit that over the next week or so. And I am Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching Comic Book Geezers. See you real soon. Bye-bye.